Hello and welcome to a cultural apologetic take on the day's news. For today, August 21st, 2024. This is an AI-generated podcast and can make mistakes. Use it for generating possible ideas, but don't rely on it as an authoritative guide to a cultural apologetic take on the day's news. In our first story today, Barack Obama took the stage at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, speaking enthusiastically about his support for Kamala Harris as the next president. He praised her leadership skills, saying Kamala will be that president, and emphasizing her ability to unite people across different backgrounds. Obama also spoke highly of Tim Walz, the Minnesota governor running alongside Harris, calling him a real person who genuinely cares about his neighbors. He joked about Walz's fashion sense, saying his flannel shirts come from his own closet. Turning to Donald Trump, Obama accused him of using an old trick in politics from a guy whose act has gotten pretty stale. He dismissed Trump's behavior as bluster and chaos and emphasized that America is ready for a new chapter with Harris at the helm. Throughout his speech, Obama emphasized the need for a president who genuinely cares about people's struggles and has a strong sense of empathy. He praised Harris's background Barack Obama at the Democratic National Convention, in which he endorsed Kamala Harris as the next president, warrants a thoughtful examination from the perspective of Reformed Christian cultural apologetics. As we analyze this event through the lens of our heritage, we find ourselves engaged with fundamental questions about the nature of leadership, the role of Christians in civic life, and the character of those who would lead our nation. In his remarks, Obama highlighted Harris's commitment to the struggles of blue-collar workers, emphasizing her ability to care for and listen to the needs of this constituency. This focus on empathy and compassion resonates with the Reformed tradition's understanding of leadership as a matter of servanthood, Mark 10:42-44. As we consider the implications of this approach, we are reminded that Jesus himself modeled such humility and selflessness in his interactions with those around him. Furthermore, Obama's comments about Harris's background, her hard-won success, and unprivileged upbringing resonate with the Reformed emphasis on the importance of character in leadership. In our own tradition, we have long recognized that true greatness is not measured by external markers of power or privilege, but rather by an individual's inner virtues and their commitment to serving others. Proverbs 29:2. As we ponder Obama's praise for Harris's integrity, we are led to consider the values that undergird our own understanding of leadership, a focus on the intrinsic worth of individuals, rather than mere external appearances. However, as we engage with this narrative, we must also note the implicit contrast being drawn between Harris and her opponents. In particular, Obama's jabs at Donald Trump serve to highlight the latter's perceived lack of empathy and his reliance on bluster and chaos. This dichotomy raises important questions about the nature of leadership in a post-Christendom context, Carter 2007. How do we as Christians navigate the complexities of civic life where competing visions of human flourishing and values are pitted against one another? In this light, it is instructive to recall Nicholas Wolterstorff's observations on the limitations of naturalistic reasoning in evaluating human character. Wolterstorff, 2008. Obama's portrayal of Harris as a leader who genuinely cares about others may be compelling within certain cultural frameworks, but ultimately relies on an implicit anthropology that privileges individualism and emotional experience over more nuanced understandings of human nature. As Reformed Christians, we must carefully consider the implications of such narratives for our own understanding of leadership and its role in shaping civic culture. Ultimately, as we reflect on Obama's speech and the broader cultural context it inhabits, we are reminded that true greatness is not measured by external markers of power or privilege, but rather by an individual's commitment to serving others and upholding the values of decency, humanity, and empathy that undergird our shared humanity. As we consider the implications of this vision for our own understanding of leadership and its role in shaping civic culture, may we be guided by the wisdom of Scripture and the Reformed tradition's emphasis on character, servanthood, and humility. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Cultural Apologetic Take on the Day's News. Be sure to come back tomorrow for a new episode.